And a relative hush falls over Larkhall here, ahead of this final for MicroMax UK. About to go past the point where they can't make any more changes in terms of where they are on the grid. And if Nigel Edwards is happy, will be good for a start of a 15-minute plus 1 lap race to decide round 2 of the MicroMax UK Rear Tools British Kart Championships for this year. We are away and running. Good start for Alfie Mayer. Good start for Max Jolly as well. From the opposite side of the grid, down and through towards turn number 3. It is Mayer in the lead. There's a couple of karts off in the background. I think one of them is Maria Roberto there in the purple helmet. But apart from that, we're all good and running up towards turn number 5 for the first time in this one. Move from Dean Pahal down the inside. Pahal takes the lead then from third on the grid, immediately into the front, and it's Austin Oman also coming down the inside. Oman from the third row of the grid. Well, it's an absolute repeat of what we saw in Minimax 950. The driver from 5th place on the grid looks like they're going to lead at the end of lap 1. This is back into the position that Austin Oman was in 2 weeks ago in the club round. There's 2 karts off towards the back of the field. I think one of them might be Ansel Murray. I think the other is Albert Ferro in the number 42. Albert is out of the kart. Looks okay, but sadly in terms of competition is out of this one. Same story for Ansel Murray. Back at the front of the field. It's going to be a close race, this. This is going to be one about just keeping yourself in the main pack towards the front, not getting too far down the order. Here goes Pahal again down the inside into turn 5. Oman trying to hold around the outside there, running towards turn number 6. Pahal's got the move done. Mayer has stepped through as well into second place. Max Jolly having a look now at Austin Oman there, who's slotted into third. Good start for Sebastian Behrman in the background. I just saw the Jax Motorsport, the flash of green in the number 37 is up to 6th place, and has got some help from Lucian Smith behind as well. The number 44, the other Jax Motorsport runner with the red suit and the white helmet. End of lap number 2. New race leader, Dean Pahal for RCE, ahead of Alfie Mayer and Austin Oman into turn number 3 once again. We've seen that Dean Pahal is not afraid to take the lead in this one and go from the front. He's quite happy being in that position and knowing that there is going to be some pressure coming in, as there is right now. Mayer back down the inside, Oman helping through as well. Oman up to second place. Here comes Max Jolly down the inside of Pahal, but it's going to be switched back now for the next corner. Well read there by Luke Millward. Luke Millward, who took the pre-final win at PF a few weeks ago. He's continuing to keep himself up towards the front of these orders in MicroMax UK. And Millward, reading that situation, now holds 4th round the final corner to complete lap number 3 then. Alfie Mayer back to the front of the order. Austin Oman there in second place. Luke Millward now going for 3rd place and has got 3rd place. Good move there from Luke Millward for KR Sports. Past Dean Pahal. Max Jolly's now looking down the inside of the number 23. Good defence there from Pahal on the outside. Holds the position. But this is great news for Mayer and Oman, because they're now starting to pull away from this group. Pahal back down the inside of Millward, retakes 3rd place. Jolly follows through as well, is back up into 4th. Josh Hushka is still there as well in 6th place, and keep an eye out for Joshua Cook as well. When he was on the road to taking the O-Plate title earlier in the year, very much went under the radar for the first half of the race. It's exactly the kind of run where getting his last 3 or 4 laps, you could see Joshua Cook come forward and to the front. That's a move for 3rd. That's Max Jolly going back down the inside of Dean Pahal. But the gap is now starting to grow at the very front of the field. Mayer and Oman are now in the 56 4s. Everybody else in that immediate group behind is 56 8s, 56 7s. Tell you who else we need to keep an eye on, George Swire. George was really unlucky in the pre-final, had technical problems that took him out of the running for that one. Was due to start in a really strong grid position towards the front of the order. Well, bounced back here. Had to start from the back of the grid, of course, having DNF'd in that pre-final. Has gained 11 spots right now. Is the fastest driver on the circuit as well. Is up to 15th. Similarly coming through the field, up 10 spots each. Maximilian Eberhardt and Harry Radcliffe, they're both 13th and 14th respectively. Still more than 10 minutes of this one to run then. End of lap number 5. Max Jolly, that was a big lap for Max Jolly, 55.92, and look at that. He's closed that gap in one single lap. Has closed the gap to Austin Owen directly ahead. That is one of the best race laps I think I've seen this weekend. And Max Jolly, who finished 3rd in the club round a few weeks ago, has already gone. In fact, down the inside there's Owen. Owen goes for the lead of the race. Mair's going to switch back, try to retake the lead. They're nearly 3 wide heading into turn number 6. Pahal immediately down the inside again from Dean Pahal. Great reading of the race. Back into 3rd. Jolly's having to defend 4th place now from Luke Millward. Here comes Josh Cook as well in the O-plate. To the inside once more. Oman looking for the move. Mair leaves enough space. Some great defensive work. Oman taking a big chunk of curb. That's pretty much the only curb around this circuit that he can take, and it's worked. Back through goes Austin Oman into the lead of the race. Still 9 minutes of this one to go. We're not even at the stage of the race where we've got the length of a heat, as one driver's run a little bit wide there through turn number 2. Apologies, didn't quite catch who it was in the ball of dust, but back at the front of the order. This is a proper race. This is a proper race once again from the MicroMax UK field. Oh, as round goes Pahal and gets back into the race, but he's going to lose around 10 or 12 positions there. What a shame for Dean Pahal. He's out of contention now, you would think, for the major positions here today, and yes, slips all the way down to 18th. 8 minutes and 20 to go then. Austin Oman, your race leader. Alfie Mair 2nd, Joshua Cook now up to 3rd place. There's a +5 second penalty for the number 42 of Albert Farrow. Albert Farrow, who's out of this race anyway. The same penalty, in fact, there's a +3 second penalty for Ansel Murray, the other driver out of this race, so that's not going to have any bearing on this race. But Austin Oman leads ahead of Alfie Mair into turn number 6 once again. The KR Sport duo of Cook and Millward, who led the championship at the start of this weekend, are right there in 3rd and 4th. At the moment, virtual championship scores would look like this. Millward would retain the championship lead. It'd be 9 points ahead of his teammate Cook, so 369 to 360. Austin Oman would be moving up to 3rd place, ahead of Alfie Mair in 4th, Max Jolly into 5th. It would be a very close picture as we'd head to Karting North East for round number 3 of the championship. And it's still very close, of course, in this final. 7 minutes remaining. We're into the second half on time now. It's a group of 4 at the very front of the field. Oman, Mair, Cook, Millward, and Max Jolly pushing along again. New fastest lap a few moments ago, 55.92 for Max Jolly. He needs another one of those near tyre busting single laps to get him back into this main group. Looking a bit further back, that's Josh Hushko in the number 55, having a good scrap with Benedictas Masiokas over 6th place, with Alfie Garrett's not too far behind. 6.5 minutes to go, end of lap number 9. What is the gap back to Jolly? It's less than a second, and there's another change for the lead. Austin Oman retakes the lead, but just as soon as we say that, he's lost it again. Back comes Alfie Mair. Joshua Cook's down the inside. Joshua Cook takes 2nd place. And well, just as we saw at Wilton Mill at the start of the season for the single round O-Plate Championship, Joshua Cook, as this race develops, is bringing himself into play here. Millward looks to the inside of Austin Oman for 3rd place through turn number 6. Max Jolly's going to be on the outside now, side by side with Austin Oman over 4th place. This is a pulsating race, as we've seen throughout the weekend here at Larkhall for MicroMax. I'd count everybody all the way back to Alfie Garrett in 8th place as majorly part of the battle for the podium right now. The trouble is, 8 into 3 simply won't go. None of these drivers want to miss out. I tell you who else is having a really good race. Arthur Farrow. He's at it again. The final winner from PF International is up to 10th place in this race. And considering that in time qualifying, he was right towards the back in the heats, that is a tremendous run. Likewise for Harry Radcliffe and George Swire at 13 and 14 places just in this final. There are some super drives going on out there. Again, it's going to be very difficult to decide, I think, who's going to get nominated for Viratal's Driver of the Day from this category. We're going to find out across the course of the next 4 3/4 minutes. There is Austin Owen going back down the inside of Max Jolly for 4th place. End of lap number 11. Here's another attack for the lead. This time it's Joshua Cook. So Joshua Cook to the front for the first time in this final. Alfie Mayer has a think about going back down the inside for the race lead. Thinks better of it. Luke Millward's there as well. Luke Millward's got a bit of good drive out of turn number 4. Heading towards 5 and then 6. Here comes Mayer back down the inside. Responds. Bit of help from Millward behind as well. Cook back down to 3rd. Out of the race, unfortunately, is the number 75 of Hamish Gordon, Scottish privateer. Unfortunately, Hamish's race ends on lap number 11. Will still score points for 24th position. So, Millward has taken the lead of the race now ahead of Alfie Mayer. This is not necessarily the key moment of this race, because if anything that we've learned so far this weekend is it's going to close back up again. But what that does do right now is it extends Millward's live championship points lead. It extends it to 16 points. Another new fastest lap of the race from George Swire, 55.86 seconds. Where is George Swire in relation to this battle? Well, he's in this group here that's trying to close in. As Mayer again down the inside retakes the lead. Austin Owen's back up into 2nd place. This race is all going to be about timing. It's all going to be about where you are on the last lap. They're going to keep swapping positions back and forth, trying to keep themselves as far up the order as possible to not leave them with too much work, as Austin Owen has just done there to retake the lead of this race. Mayer back down to 2nd place, Millward 3rd, Cook 4th. So Joshua Cook has got back ahead of Max Jolly. And switch it straight back around again. Max Jolly back down the inside of Joshua Cook, retakes 4th place, 2.5 minutes to go. George Swire is now up to 9th place. That's 17 positions gained now for George Swire, running for KR Sports. There's a notification regards Dean Pahal that number 23 is under investigation. There's a 5-second penalty as well for the number 44 of Lucian Smith. So Lucian Smith will fall down from 11th position. Here again, Millward down the inside of Mayer, retakes 2nd place. Max Jolly's back up to 3rd. This is a good chance, actually, for Austin Owen to break away. There's a bit of a gap there between himself and the rest of the pack for the first time for any of our race leaders across the last 13 minutes or so. But again, the field behind, they get themselves reorganised, they start to reel the leader back in, especially when they'll go through turn 3 and 4 on this next lap and look to draft up behind the number 11 as they get towards turn number 5. Through down and towards turn 3, you can see Luke Millward closing in with a bit of help from Max Jolly behind as well. Don't count out Mayer, don't count out Cook. Hushka's there also. Garrett and Masiokas are all less than 2 seconds off the race lead. And keep your eyes on the number 82 of George Swire, which is continuing to go very quickly. Down the inside for 2nd place. Jolly back into 2nd place. Austin Owen will like the fact that he's led this whole lap. He's not been challenged in the last lap and a half or so. The question is, can he keep himself? It just needs to be a kart length. It just needs to be a kart length clear of the rest of the field, and it will just suppress any thoughts of the drivers behind going for a move. But Max Jolly is going to go for the move, retakes the lead of the race. Less than a minute to go then. On to the penultimate lap of the race. Oman slots back into 3rd place. Millward's back up to P2. Look at Alfie Garrett as well. Alfie Garrett's coming through this order in the number 47 in the bright coloured helmet. The RCE, the top RCE runner now in this race. Another driver who had difficult times through the heats at the start of the weekend has flourished today on finals day. Owen's going to go back down the inside of Millward, retakes second place. A bit of a delayed exit there means there is a gap for Max Jolly to work with. 10 seconds to go. There will be one more lap. The time will expire on this tour of the circuit. Just behind there in the black helmet, that's Benediktas Masiokas side by side with Josh Huska over 7th place. They could fall into the clutches of George Swire there in 9th. Time is up. Last lap then. Max Jolly leads, has 1.14 kilometres to complete here at Larkhall to take a first ever win in the Vera Tools British Kart Championships. Sam Pollitt Racing and Austin Oman there, second place. That's where they finished at PF International. They've never had a win in the Vera Tools British Kart Championships. Luke Millward, who missed out on a final victory, it's surely going to be one of these three. We're going to have a new winner. Max Jolly, he's turning the pace up again. This is what we saw in the middle of the race. This is the biggest lap of his young racing career. The driver from the northeast, selected, picked up by Hunter Motorsport, is looking like he's going to deliver on the promise. He's going to take a first win round the final corner. Austin Oman tries to defend for second place, but it's Max Jolly. Max Jolly wins at Larkhall. He takes his first ever victory at this level in a final and wins from Austin Oman by 0.66 of a second. Luke Millward extends his championship lead with third place ahead of Alfie Mayer in fourth and Alfie Garrett in fifth place. But it's Max Jolly from the front row, the outside of the front row, in a race that went back and forth all over again. He takes the win.